I flash back to the 80s, 90s maybe, when biamping was a thing. And guess what? It worked about 40% of the time. And Warwick seems to be reinventing how modern biamping is done. And I actually own the very first 6-string bass ever made, and Anthony Jackson designed it.
Woo-hoo.
I just kind of have my mind blown a little bit. Like, I'm already thinking, how can I use this with my 6-string? I'm channeling Anthony Jackson way back with Lee Ritenour, what he was actually going for. PA-500 combined with an MS-800, and you get a tone like that. Put me down.
Yeah.
I'll set you up.
Sure.
I got you.
The pressure's on.
I had the craziest dream last night.
What was it?
Maybe I can say it. I can say it on camera. I was dreaming about Well, maybe it's too much information, but about biamping.
Oh, really?
Biamping. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's what I was talking about. Biamping. And it's for real. Like, I flash back, because we were in here yesterday and we were talking about the new capabilities of these amps. And I really thought back to the 80s, 90s maybe, when maybe I was playing with the Rippingtons or Larry Carlton, and biamping was a thing.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at this rig and thinking back to the rack mount big crown amps that I had with a Tube Tech preamp, which was this beautiful. I use it in my studio now. And a crossover network so that I could split the frequencies. And guess what? It worked about 40% of the time. There were so many cables to hook up, and the crossover network. Anyway, I'm just glad to see that we've gotten to a point here, and Warwick seems to be reinventing how modern biamping is done. And I heard you jamming earlier with this rig, and it's so amazing to be able to split the signal like that and make it sound like you were, especially for the slapping.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm kind of curious. What were the reasons back then for you to do this, to get into the whole process of doing the biamping thing?
For me, the goal of it was always tone.
Yeah.
Whether it's the woods in my instrument or the amps I'm using, it's like, how do I translate this to this and get out there? I had read where Anthony Jackson had a rig. In fact, I saw his rig on a tour once when he was playing with Lee Ritenour, and I was with the Rippingtons, and they wheeled out these huge Myers cabinets with all of these amps, and he's got a 6-string bass guitar. And this was maybe late 80s, early 90s, where I had a 6-string bass, John Patitucci had a 6-string bass, and Anthony Jackson was our godfather of the 6-string bass. But yeah, it was a low B all the way up to wherever he ended up on the high C string. Interesting side note, and I bet they'll cut it in, but I actually own the very first 6-string bass ever made, and Anthony Jackson designed it.
Woo-hoo.
It's the #1, and it's like the Wright brothers plane. But by the time he was with Lee Ritenour, it had evolved through a few iterations, and his tone was amazing. And that's what got me. In fact, he was using the Tube Tech MP1. I just thought of the model preamp, which I got right after that.
Right.
Bought one because I wanted to sound like Anthony's low B string and get that tonal range. But he had everything split, so his high end was coming through one cabinet, his low end was coming through another cabinet, and he could control the two. So that was my history with it. So I started doing it. I could just never. It was so complicated, and our techs at the time were not used to seeing it and not used to setting it up. So it just didn't work out for me. And then later on, I had a Ampeg, I believe it was a SVT4 Pro when I worked with Ampeg, and had another little trip down biamping lane.
Those amps were huge.
Well, the SVT4 was actually 2 rack spaces. Maybe I did have one that was bigger, and maybe that was the one that was bi-amp, but regardless, it didn't last long.
Yeah.
It didn't, and at that point, I wasn't slapping as much as, any at all by that point. I had slapped on 2 records way back in the day, and that's pretty much my recorded slap career. So I was playing almost all fretless, and I didn't really need that crisp high end that I just heard you getting out of this bi-amp rig. So that's kind of my history. But my question to you is, how the heck were you making it sound so amazing? The low end and the high end, and I was even outside, and it drew me in here.
Well, the thing when running 2 cabs is obviously you can either run them full range, which is what most people do nowadays.
Which can sound beautiful.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But at some point in time, somebody must have thought, well, wouldn't it be a cool idea to have the signal split in a way that I could feed one cab with the low part of my signal and feed the other cab with a higher part of my signal in order to achieve like a very round and well-defined sound mix. And that's precisely what we did here, right? So we have here the MS-800 amp, and this is a 2-channel amp, but that's, regardless of that, it has that bi-amping feature.
This is the amp you would use if you weren't going to bi-amp, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, it can do both.
Yeah.
And this is the actual other amplifier that will either amplify your low end or your high end.
Absolutely.
So they're divided. You've got 2 amps and 2 separate, it's just 2 separate bass rigs that's somehow dividing up the sound of one bass.
Absolutely. But this, however, is only a power amp. I'm running the signal through my first amp, going out of the first amp and feeding this power amp with the signal that I need for my high frequencies.
When I bi-amped and I had 2 power amps, I'm seeing something different here. I'm seeing a power amp that has an EQ stage, which is unheard. I've never even...
Absolutely.
I'm realizing this for the first time because pretty much back in the day, my Crown power amps or QVC or QSC or whatever they were, certainly didn't have any EQ. So even when you split the signal, you're still able to EQ that separate signal.
Absolutely.
That's something I've never been able to do.
Yeah, it's usually you will not find this in a power amp. It's really all about the flexibility, and make tonal choices. So maybe I should actually play a little bit. So this would, I tell you what, let me put this thing in full range mode first. So I have this dangerous red button here on the back. So this...
Did you just put it in full range?
Yes. So this would be full range.
You push the red button. So now the signal that's coming in here is from your bass, and it's being divided, but it's not bi-amped. You're just, this amp is still driving this cabinet.
It's the full range signal going to both cabs. Sounds pretty cool straight away. But now the thing is, when I'm pushing that red button again, I am now in bi-amping mode, which means the lower part of my signal goes to this cab, and the higher part goes to this cab.
Immediately, it's crisper. It's like, the other way is great. I mean, I would have to say that's a great bass tone.
Totally.
Not bi-amp, but wow.
It's quite a difference, isn't it? Now, what about this? I may also...
One question.
Yeah.
I've never pushed the red button.
Yeah.
Can I push it? I just want to see what it feels like.
Feel free.
Okay. Wow. That's kind of mind-blowing. Like you can actually change. Keep playing. I'm just going to change it back and forth a couple times. I'm watching all of y'all watching them when I change it. So give me a smile when it's bi-amped and no smile when it's regular. Let's see. Let's do a listening test. Go. Full range.
Man, that makes a huge
Isn't
difference.
that amazing?
Yeah.
It's almost like going from mono to stereo in the sense that the sound is fat when it's single amped or whatever you would call it, but as soon as you split it, it just goes.
It's like more space, you know, you can almost feel the bass. But, you know, let me tell you what, let's take it to the extremes, because now that I have the EQ, why not use it, okay? So we can tear apart those two signals.
And this is the low end?
More. This is the high end.
Okay.
So let me just crank that those highs. Are you back in bi-amping?
Let me find the spot. Oh, better look.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, and at the same time, let me crank the bass from this amp. So now those two signals will be even more far apart, right?
Oh, wow. So it shrinks.
That is a huge difference.
And what's so crazy for me is it doesn't get louder. It just it gets bigger in a way, but not louder.
But you can almost like feel the space, like the whole signal fills up that space in a very beautiful way.
I just kind of have my mind blown a little bit. Like I'm already thinking, how can I use this?
Mission accomplished.
With my 6-string.
Yeah.
I'm channeling Anthony Jackson way back with Lee Ritenour, what he was actually going for. Yeah. I can't wait. I'm going to see Anthony in a couple of weeks in New York. Yeah. And I got to tell him that 30 years ago, he inspired me to bi-amp again today in Germany with Lars.
And I think it's almost a shame that, you know, people didn't do it for so many years. It just wasn't hip anymore. It wasn't a thing that they would do. But it's really, I mean, the advantages are so obvious to me. Shall we turn those things around? We're back, obviously. So this is how this works, okay? From this amp, I'm going to...
And this is the amp you plug the bass into.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm going from this to this cap.
That's your speaker out, going down to there.
And I'm also going from this speaker out to this cab, okay? Now, of course, I have to connect these two systems, right? So I'm using the line out jack of my main amp, and this goes into the line in of my power amp. And now I can decide whether or not I want to be in full range mode or in bi-amping mode.
So you took the cover off and you just plug your low end down here. Or can you split it, or does it have to be high end through here and low end through there? Can you?
It's always going to be low end through here and high end through here.
Okay.
Yeah.
We used to have a crossover network. At what frequency it would split? Is this already internally decided?
This is built in. They have the crossover frequency at 200 hertz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, which makes sense because everything below that is low lows.
Totally.
And with the EQs on both amps. You can actually go diametrically further apart than that by attenuating certain frequencies.
Yeah. So you have a great flexibility there as far as your bass sound is concerned, and I think it's just a lot of fun, really.
It certainly is. PA-500 combined with an MS-800, and you get a tone like that. Put me down.
Yeah. All right, guys, that was our demo of the bi-amping function of the new Warwick amps. If you liked what you saw and heard, leave us a like, hit the subscribe buttons, hit the bell for notifications on new videos. And if you want to find out more about Warwick, please go to warwick.de. That's it from Mr. Steve Bailey. And I'm Lars, and we hope to see you next time.
This is a great cure for jet lag. I didn't even realize it till now, but this is kind of exciting stuff.
That's right.
I'm a nerd.
And now we're going to the party. See ya.